Welcome to another Monday Mindset. We're going to get this show on the road. I'm going to show you guys an incredible site to help you with your content, whether you're producing videos, you're producing social media content. I think this site is really going to help you out. Then we're also going to talk about imposter syndrome a little bit today to get your mind right? Because this is Monday Mindset. You got to get your mind right to get your marketing right, to get your money right. I will see you on the other side of this intro.
There are no bad businesses. There are just those people who don't know enough to see the opportunities in the work they're in. If there seems to be no future or opportunity in it, it isn't always because it's not there, but perhaps only because we can't see it.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to another Monday Mindset. Welcome to another Monday. Hope you're ready to crush it. Aaron, good morning. Great to see you on the show. I want to show you guys this website that I think will really help you with your content. Hopefully, all of you are producing content. One of the things you have to understand about branding, right, is you have a brand whether you think you do or not. You have a brand. So whether you're active on social or not active, you still have a brand. Whether you're active in your drip marketing or not, you still have a brand. The question is, are you controlling your brand narrative or are you letting others control the brand narrative? Meaning you have a brand whether you think so or not. Your brand is what your consumers and your clients, your prospects actually say about you. A good exercise for you would be to call up some of your clients and say, hey, if you were to describe my business, if you were to describe my company and my brand, what would you say? And see what they actually put down, because that will be very enlightening to you of what you are representing to the marketplace. So you have a brand, whether you think so or not. The question is, are you controlling the narrative of your brand? Putting out content on social, putting out content through email, that helps. That's just one medium, one way of controlling the brand narrative that you want people to think. This site helps you with the struggle of producing content. So maybe you guys have heard of Neil Patel, but he's a really famous marketer guy, runs the Marketing Genius podcast. Him and his co-host, Eric Sue, we actually interviewed Eric on our podcast a while back. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, so I'll share this. And this site is called answerthepublic.com. So answerthepublic.com. You should check this site out if you are trying to produce content through your blog, through social, through YouTube. Actually, up at the top here, I'm on Google right now, but you could do YouTube, you can do Bing. So what is answerthepublic.com? It's a way for you to be able to come to this site, get yourself a free trial. You can upgrade to the Pro if you want, and you can search different topics, and you can see the relevant search traffic that is associated with those topics. And it lays it out in a really cool format where you can see, I don't know if you guys can read this on the screen or not, but it's like when, where, which, who, as you go around this pie, why, will, are, and you can see as you go closer to the center, there's this legend up here that tells you, obviously the darker red or orangish that it is, the more highly searched of a term it is. So if I go in, I searched life insurance. But you can see like why over here in this category right here, why life insurance is a good investment. That's a video for you right there. That's an Instagram post. Why life insurance for child? That's a highly searched term. Why life insurance is not an investment. If I come over here to how life insurance works, how life insurance policies work, like you can use this site, answerthepublic.com, to literally search and see what the search volume is and what the cost per click is on using some of these terms. So this is referring to life insurance right here. So the search volume is 246,000. I'm assuming that's monthly across Google, but I don't know. It could be daily. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. But cost per click right now, if you were running a per click ad, it would be $23.56 every time somebody clicked on your sponsored ad. But this is an incredible tool. Our content team uses it. I use it in order for me to figure out what are people searching, what are they interested in, what do they want to know about in regards to the things that I do. And I can now build almost like trees out for myself of content that I'm going to produce for my Instagram, for my YouTube channel, right? For my Facebook channel. So answerthepublic.com is an incredible tool to be able to see the search traffic on Google, to see it on YouTube, to see it on Bing. This was done by Neil Patel. He's a really successful marketer guy out there, has a great podcast that you guys can check out. So check out answerthepublic.com. And then I want you to think about this in terms of your content. I want to give you kind of a thought on how you should think about your content in order to help you be consistent. If you're taking notes, I would write down content pillars and put a line under content pillars, maybe on one side of the page. And then on the right side of the page, write down value pillars and underline value pillars. One of the hardest things about content is being consistent in what you post, coming up with what you want to post about. Answer the Public can help guide you onto ideas for what your post can be about. But you need to have consistency of brand, consistency of messaging in order to showcase to people your authority on a subject matter. So you don't want to just have a podcast. Usually you don't want to have a podcast about anything and everything because people won't know what they're going to get from you. And unless you are an incredible personality, you probably won't hook them. In fact, all of the podcasts that tend to be about a lot of things, they have incredible personalities and people follow the podcast to listen to the personality or the personalities they're interviewing, not as much as like the content. So you tune into a Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan is just so good at interviewing people. He's a personality in and of himself. And then he also interviews incredible personalities. So you're just curious, doesn't matter the topic, you're just curious to hear what they're going to talk about and what they're going to say. But most podcasts, in order for them to be successful, or most marketing campaigns, most businesses, they need to become niche. There's riches in the niches, as they say. You need to get niche, right? So people know what to expect from you. But here's why you want to think about it this way. Because you need to build authority on your subject matter. So if you want people to buy from you, Joe, if you want people to buy from you, Lily, if you want people to buy from you, Grace, want people to buy from you, Aaron, I'm just shouting out everybody in the comments. Thank you for commenting. But if you want people to buy from you, they need to look up to you. They need to believe that you have authority on the subject matter that they need knowledge about, that they need to have a trust in your abilities, that they know you can take them from point A to point B and you know the road to take to get there. You're the bridge in between those 2 points for them. They need to have belief in that. How is one way you get belief in that? You've got to educate and show people through consistency of your content that you know about a certain topic. And so I had you write down content pillars and I had you write down value pillars because the exercise I would do if I were you when you're thinking about producing content is write down what are your content pillars. What are you going to consistently post about throughout the week? Maybe one of those, if you're life insurance, is life insurance. That is one of your content pillars that you will post about life insurance, right? And that goes under your content pillar side. And you start building this out. So for me, it's not just about work. And for you, it shouldn't just be about work because people come to social to be social and to engage and interact. And if you just post about life insurance, they're obviously going to tune out eventually. So you want one of your content pillars to be what you do, or a couple of your content pillars to be what you do. But you also want other things. So for me, it's going to be my faith. I'm going to put that as a content pillar for me. I'm going to post about my faith. I'm going to put family as a content pillar for me because I'm going to be posting about my family. I went trunk or treating with my daughter this week, and she dressed up as Minnie Mouse. It's the most adorable thing ever. She's really into Minnie Mouse right now and really into pink. Whoever wrote the Pinkalicious books, I blame you for that, but she's really into pink, and she won't take off this Minnie Mouse costume. It's the cutest thing ever. But I'm going to post about that stuff because it's who I am. It's natural, and it allows me to tap into what Gary Vee teaches: document, don't create. Because if you're always trying to create, you run out of content. If you're just documenting your life, you're documenting your true value pillars, your true content pillars, then you don't run out of content. So maybe for you, you're writing down life insurance, if that's what you do, or Medicare, whatever it is. Faith, family, fitness could be one for you. Maybe that's something you're into. Music could be a content pillar if you're like, play music and stuff like that. Whatever it is that you do and that you're interested in. So for me, it's sales. It's marketing, it's family, it's faith, it's fitness. So that's under my content pillars. Then I come over to the right side of the page and I have my value pillars. So value pillars are how you want to express the content pillars that you created. So these are the content pillars are what you're going to post about every week to have consistency of who you are. The value pillars are how you're going to express that content. So that could be things like humor. You could write down humor as a value pillar for you, that you actually will. Maybe you're a comedian or you're funny or you like posting memes. Like on our Reminder Media Instagram, we do a lot of memes because the humor tends to resonate on Instagram. And so our content team does a lot of memes. And one of our value pillars is we're going to express things about the industries we serve in a humorous way to connect with people and get them to tune in. Another pillar for you might be motivation. That's one of my pillars. I want to motivate people. I want to inspire them. Maybe it's motivation/inspiration. So I'm going to produce content on motivation. So here's how it works. What it allows you to do, once you get 3 or 4 value pillars, so maybe it's humor, motivation, I wrote down education and inspiration. Now what you do is for each content pillar, there's going to be topics, subtopics. Go to answerthepublic.com and type in life insurance, and it gives you, I'm still sharing my screen. I just realized, it gives you all of these topics. Well, each one of these topics you can share through the value pillar. So you can write a humorous topic on why life insurance is not an investment, or do a humorous piece of content on that. You could do a motivational piece of content on that. You could do an educational piece of content on that. This allows you, when you have your value pillars, just as a high level from a thinking standpoint, it allows you to be able to take one piece of content and express it in 3 or 4 or 5 different ways. And it makes your content not only more engaging, but it encapsulates all the values of what you want to post about and how you want to share them. So this is a neat hack that we learned. I think it was Modern Millie, who's like a Instagram star influencer, hundreds of thousands of followers. She teaches people about social all the time. We had a chance to interview her years ago on our podcast, and she outlined this so eloquently of walking people through the process of writing down and defining what their content pillars are and what their value pillars are, which allows them to stay consistent in their posting. And then Neil Patel, we interviewed his co-host, Eric Sue, on the podcast. And I think that's how we got turned on to this answerthepublic.com. But it's something our social team uses. My social media manager, Ariel, just chatted it to us again not too long ago. So I wanted to share it with you. Last thing I want to share with you. So that's some tactical things for your marketing, right? To hopefully drive your social content this week or the content that you're creating. I want to share with you some mindset things. So I released a podcast today on Stay Paid about the imposter syndrome. So we did a funny podcast because of Halloween where I dressed up as Josh and Josh dressed up as me. I even had a bald cap because Josh is bald. Love that guy. But I wore that the whole podcast, and we talked about imposter syndrome because I don't know if you know this or not, but according to like the internal Journal of Medicine or whatever, 82% of people suffer from some form of imposter syndrome in their life. And I know that 100% of entrepreneurs and business people and salespeople suffer from imposter syndrome because you're constantly putting yourself out there to present on topics, to stand behind things that you don't fully feel confident in, or not because of an ethics thing, but because of a maybe experience thing or, confidence in your abilities. And so you get imposter syndrome. And especially this happens, it's like a journey. It's like every success I've had, I get a deeper and deeper level almost of imposter syndrome, because I think the more success you have, the more you have to lose. And so you figure, oh, maybe I'm just a one-hit wonder. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe I didn't realize, what I was doing, and this just happened. And how do you deal with that imposter syndrome? The first thing I will tell you is, and I'm just speaking for me personally, right? I can only speak for myself of how I deal with imposter syndromes and the thoughts that I go through and the things that I do to maybe help you today if you feel a little bit of imposter syndrome in your business, that you don't belong where you're at. One thing that is very encouraging to me is every successful person I have met in my life that is more successful or at my level has suffered and does suffer from imposter syndrome. People that are billionaires suffer from imposter syndrome. That gives me a level of confidence. That gives me a level of confidence because I'm in good company. So if you suffer from imposter syndrome today, to get your mind right, you're in good company. You need to actually look at it as something that actually maybe that means that you're onto something here, that you're actually trying things, that you're putting yourself out there. And what do they say about courage, right? Courage is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of fear, right? So if you find yourself with imposter syndrome, welcome to the club. You're in good company. And I think it was Alex Hormozi who said he's never met a successful person who believes they're doing enough. In fact, it's the people who are not successful who think they're doing enough. It's the people who are successful who always feel like they're not doing enough. They're not working hard enough. They're not putting their all in, right? So that's, I think, a part of success, is that constant chase of getting better, of improving yourself, of having that self-doubt. And the key is, don't let the self-doubt have paralysis, right? Or give you paralysis. Let the self-doubt encourage you that, hey, look, you're trying things, that this is where the winners live, right? Winners live where quitters quit. That is an incredible quote. I forget who said it, but winners live where quitters quit. And so if you have imposter syndrome, you have self-doubt, just remember you're in good company, and this is where the winners live. They live right here in that self-doubt, and they embrace it, and they go forward in it. A couple other things that I wrote down that might help you, that help me, is I always try to focus, when I get a little bit off, I wrote down, focus on your strengths and your accomplishments. And I always, like, when I'm maybe a little bit discouraged, I try to get back into my super power, my zone of genius. So I'm very good at sales. I'm very good when I'm out on the road at sales. I don't say that to brag. It's just a part that I'm very good at. And I get encouragement when I do well in it. And so a lot of times when I get almost in the rut of imposter syndrome, I try to go back and focus on some of the things that I'm really, really good at. So what are you good at? And if you're facing this wall of adversity, if you're facing this self-doubt, spend some time going back there to the fundamentals and play that game, because it will remind you of who you are, remind you of your confidence. And it always does for me when I get back into my zone of genius, as they say, and it inspires me to kind of go to that next level, and it helps me face the self-doubt on the new things that I'm trying. Seth Godin wrote this, which I thought was good. He says, when you feel unworthy, any kind of response, positive feedback, or reward feels like a trick, a scam, the luck of the draw. And I find that to be true, is that when you feel like you are unworthy, any kind of response that you get, whether it's a positive compliment from somebody, whether it's a negative comment from somebody, everything feels like you're just in this trick or in this scam. Everything feels like it's just luck of the draw. And the reason why I wrote down that quote is because he used the word unworthy. And I think it starts there in your mind, is you have to believe you're worthy of success. You have to believe you deserve this life. And I know that sounds maybe a little corny, but I have found that to be so true in my life. There's this song, anything you can do, I can do better. There's a lot of truth to that song. You need to see yourself as worthy, as being able to do what the Steve Jobs do, able to do what the top producers do. If it doesn't start there, where you don't believe you deserve success, where you don't believe you're worthy of success, then everything spirals down from there. And it is a conscious choice. It's not some magical hocus pocus saying. It's just a choice of going, no, I am worthy of success. I am able. There was this one psychiatrist or psychologist, I should say, that was talking about morning routine. And one of the things they said is you should wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself 10 times, that you're worthy 10 times. Now, I don't do anything like that, but I understand the power of doing those things, because if you don't believe in yourself, if you're not good with yourself, you will never be able to help others. So the impact that you want to have, you'll never get. And not only will you never get that, you'll never be able to actually confidently grow your business because you first have to be good with yourself before you can have a cup that's overflowing. Another thing that I wrote down that might help you is surround yourself with positive and supportive people and seek professional help. And what I mean by seeking professional help, there's nothing more impactful for an entrepreneur than the environment that they place themselves in. I think the environment is so important, who you surround yourself with. And I'm part of this mastermind called YPO, and it's this networking group of all these business owners. And it's funny, as we go throughout the years together, this group that I'm with, and every month we're meeting and we're going on these retreats together and all this stuff. All of us have a professional person in our lives that speaks into our life, from coaches to therapists. All of us do. And these are extremely successful people, so much more successful than me. And we all have these people in our lives that speak to us, these coaches, these mentors, these therapists that allow us to get different perspective, that allow us to maybe gain a little insight that we couldn't see. And I would just challenge you, if you suffer from imposter syndrome, who are you surrounding yourself with? What environment have you put yourself in? And successful people, they know they suffer from imposter syndrome. They realize they're in good company, but they don't stop there. They change their environment to get themselves to the place they want to be. If you don't like where you're at, stop accepting the environment that you're in. Get to another environment. So I hope those things help you. Those are some things that for me, from an imposter syndrome standpoint, helps me get out of that mode of imposter syndrome. But number one thing is we all suffer from it. 82% according to the Journal of Internal Medicine, which is mind-blowing to me. If you're an entrepreneur, you suffer from it because you're putting yourself out there. Keep putting yourself out there every single day, because winners live where quitters quit, and you're not a quitter. So go live where those people quit. Embrace adversity, embrace discomfort, right? Because courage is not the absence of fear. It's just moving forward in face of it. Let's get out there and let's win for our families, for our clients, for ourselves. I appreciate you guys so much. Let's have a great one. See ya.